Hey guys, Halos213 here with another drawing video, and today we are doing some Dead by Daylight drawing slash talking about the game, because I wanted to talk about the common misconception of what the best thing to do in Dead by Daylight and how you get really good at it, being the fact that I think I haven't fully mastered the game itself, but I sure have got a lot of experience and hours planted out on the game, and I'm willing to talk about it. Now, before I begin with this whole Dead by Daylight spiel and what makes a good Dead by Daylight player, I have two things to say. One, the art is not that good. I wish I could have done better. So if you have any pure critiques or anything you want to say down below, please say it in the comments. I would love to hear it, because I just pretty much can get better from that. And also, if you know how to use Photoshop to get that really nice rippling effect on most of the perks, let me know. But minus that, the second thing I wanted to go over, just like in any game, you can play it for fun. It's all you want. Whether you want to get good at it or not, that's completely up to you, in the sense that a good game is one that's willing to make a good community out of it, is the way I see it. So yeah, so there's that stance. But anyway, moving on to my main point, like I normally do. With anything, the game, obviously you have to take practice, but the idea behind how you're supposed to play the game, because there's a big misconception in Dead by Daylight where people are like, hey, I need to pretty much do generators, either not be helpful, or they're more of like, okay, getting caught is the worst possible thing to do, holy shit, I gotta hide, and I have to get the killer off of me as soon as I can. That is a huge misconception. So in DBD, how basically me and my friends play it, I usually, you see me like trying to lure the killer if he has someone on their back, or juking the killer out. The idea behind this is that the time that you are being chased by the killer, someone's going to be doing a generator. And whether or not you're being chased, trying to get rid of the killer is actually the worst thing to do, because if you get rid of that killer from chasing you, he is now less distracted to go check another generator and kick it. So the main idea of Dead by Daylight is that you're not trying to have the killer chase you 24/7, but at the same time you're not having to try and lose his interest, in the sense that you're trying to have your teammates get the generators done while you're being chased. Again, the biggest misconception is that one alone, because again, a lot of people are like, oh god, the killer's on me, I gotta find the quickest way to get rid of him, and once I do I can get back to the generator. No, that's a completely big misconception. Another big misconception, this one's kind of blatantly obvious, is the fact of the matter is pulling people off of hooks becomes such a risk. Sorry for my cough. Pulling people off of hooks is such a risk, in the sense that you are basically throwing yourself at a chance of getting hooked yourself, unless it's I mean, obviously, because if it's a camper. But the idea behind that is, if you're not pulling somebody off the hook, or you're not trying to body block a hook, you are letting them get hung. And every time they get hung, in time terms, technically you're letting the killer win, because every time someone's hanged, it's depleting the game, obviously. So the big misconception is, whenever you see a rando getting hooked, the idea is, if they're close enough, basically trying to body block the hook so they can get the person off, so they can delay more time, is the best option. And a lot of people out there are like, oh, I don't want to save the rando, I can get the generator and leave by myself. But if you haven't noticed, the one of the perks of getting a tier or ranking up in the game is having yourself go and actually make sure everyone lives, and actually lives to execute, because you get actually a higher ranking in one of those sections, which then impedes pushing your tiers up to getting a tier, or possibly two, depending on how low you are at. I just thought I'd explain that, because a lot of people with that misconception really never thought about that. And lastly, the biggest or not the biggest, but one of my last misconceptions that we had when I played Dead by Daylight is that the fact of the matter is that you can be good at doing generators or juking, one or the other, and you're fine. That is not true. I've said in the stream before as a joke with Brendan, because Brendan says, oh, I like doing generators while Halo's jukes out, he's the best. Amongst our little group of people, I did pull off many jukes and actually am the best of our group, but that doesn't mean everyone cannot be ready for both categories. In this situation, again, a bluntly obvious situation, you want to be good in both categories, because realistically, if one of us gets killed or the other one doesn't have the time to repair the generator and actually get the skill checks down, we are just depleting our own resources. So being that type of utilitarian type of build where your uses on both ends is the best way of playing the game. Mastering skill checks and being able to juke out. What we like to do is, if you have seen on Beak's Musician stream, we like to have the run of someone play a doc, and just go into a custom game, have the doc constantly electrocute us, and then choose the thing that's going to make the skill checks the lowest it possibly can, and then have the doctor leave do the skill checks, have the doctor come back, zap us again, and just keep rinse and repeat until we get the process of nailing down those skill checks to 100%. It's good practice if you're really wanting to try and get up high up in the ranks, because it's, again, with anything, practice makes perfect. And then for juking, having your best person that you know in the call that's really good at killer, have them chase you around and around. Now, as for practicing with a killer, that is 100% vice versa opposite to what I was saying to my initial response, or my initial misconception, which is if you are chasing a survivor for a long period of time, you probably should leave them alone and ditch them. Yes, it's that whole meme of hot, he gave up on me, but at the same time it's actually a clever move in the sense that you're stopping the people who are on the generators and whatever delaying their time, because a lot of misconception of killers are like, oh, I need to go for the survivor and try and hook them the most. Actually, the biggest thing you want to be doing is making sure your generators aren't getting boosted too much to a point where you're set up to a point of fail. And also, you are technically increasing your win rate by killing off the survivor right away, but at the same time you're losing those 3 to 2 generators, because within one kill of survivor, at least with our average, we've had at least 3 generators done every single time one survivor has perished, unless we had a crappy game and we tunneled. But yeah, so again, there's just that if you're interested in being a killer. Personally, I don't know that much about a killer, so I can't really speak as much for it, but as for playing so many hours on this game in Dead by Daylight, that's the way I see it. Again, a lot of people play so differently, and for those people who like to be a bit toxic in the community, where you're like, oh, I just got hooked in the first couple of seconds of the game, we're gonna lose this, I'm gonna just kill myself and leave the game. Don't do that. No one likes that. I don't know why that's becoming a thing lately, or why that's happening, but yeah. Also, for those who are wondering about this stream that didn't go up, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, I forgot what day it was. Again, this video to replace it, but on that stream I did DayZ, which was hella boring, so I didn't really upload it, but we did a little bit of Dead by Daylight at the end. Recently there has been an update where they gave in, what's it called? Nia and Claudette 2 new outfits. They're okay. I didn't really have any ups or downs to them. Their shades of color in the actual clothing actually could hide in shadows very vividly. Like it's like barely hitting that notch where like if you're visible or not. But minus that, I just thought I would let you guys know about that because I didn't do a Dead by Daylight stream confirming about the update, and I wanted to talk about it. But minus that, if you're interested in Dead by Daylight and you don't own it yet, and you want to learn more about like how the game works and stuff like that, go check out again my stream or Geek Musician stream where we did a little teaching session with Grim the Idiot Spy on how to play the game. It's pretty much a good overall view of it. Otherwise, if you are owning Dead by Daylight and you want to talk about it with me, again, comments are open. I usually try and do a question of the day now these days because I want to make it more interesting for the community to start talking or get them more open. So if you have a killer or survivor that you like a lot, that's your main favorite and you like playing, let me know down below, or why is that. You don't have to, but again, it's there. Personally, my favorite survivor is the Ace, because pretty much, even though Ace is like, a lot of his perks aren't that good in per se, even though you can get lucky stuff out of the chests, I like to play him because no one really expects him to have other people's perks when you see him, because when you see an Ace in the game as a killer, you normally result to, okay, they probably have, what's it called, the perks of that character, and it ends up flip-flopping and tricking the killer into thinking I do have those perks. So that's why I love playing Ace. Also, I generally like his character and all his cosmetic items, minus the sleeping stuff or pajama stuff. I don't really get that. Otherwise, favorite killer, if you want to do favorite killer, you can do as well. My favorite killer, I would have to say, is my main, which is the Trapper. I love him because he's the original killer who initially started off in the game, and I generally just love how he looks. On top of that, I always like the idea of planning out your attacks like in a strategic manner, and that whole idea of using bear traps as like a trapping mechanism to set up before game or early game, amazing. But yeah, that's just my little spiel about how you should play Dead by Daylight if you're really wanting to take it to a competitive level, or you really love doing it, because I know we take it a bit competitively on our stream, even though we don't show it. Off stream, we actually take it very competitively. We want to try and push a rank and grind as much blood points as we possibly can to the max. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys like this content, hit a like button, subscribe, become a Spartan a day. I do stream at Twitch at Halos2131, same spelling as my channel, HALOZ213. I do also have a Discord that is down in the description that pretty much has a chat room where you can talk to me when I go live on my stream. and when I have, what's it called, clips that I post inside. My clips have been acting up a little bit, but usually when I have clips, they go up in that chat room. And then lastly, I also have, if you're interested in streaming yourself, a chat room to go there as well. Otherwise, thank you. Bye!